meantime, though, let's come to this. As darkness falls across the nation, so does the fear of crime. Police have reported surges in criminal activity during power outages, and now it seems even solar panels to keep burglar alarms going are being stolen. So with people living in the shadow of uncertainty, let's shed some light now on this with security expert Jacob Mofokeng joining me this morning. And Jacob, thank you so much for your time. I mean, this is quite worrisome that, South Africans, residents in Gauteng or even Johannesburg, wherever they are in Johannesburg or in the country, are doing the best they can to protect themselves, right? While crime continues to surge, criminals, on the other hand, getting very much creative and now targeting solar panels, targeting the very same instruments that are meant to protect the residents. I mean, how much of a conundrum and a complex issue are we dealing with here?
Good morning to Melo and ENCA viewers. Yes, we are really dealing with organized criminal activities, harassment. One can call it terrorism, by the criminal syndicates that will attack, those who are trying to enhance their security around their houses and businesses, whereby, solar panels, generators, any means whereby a particular individual will try to enhance, his or her security. And we see this, surge, especially the extended, whereby if then there's a scheduled, load shedding, and, these criminals will also, target the cable so that, they know that, the batteries will not even last, knowing that they've got a particular, motive to, to attack certain infrastructure. It is not only about the residential, but also the businesses. You also look at the mobile service providers, where also their, backup systems are also, vandalized. So it is quite a serious criminal activities that that is really, happening, not only in Gauteng, but wherever that, these criminals will be able to benefit out of criminal activities.
So, Jacob, with that context then that you have just given us, now enters stage 6 load shedding. While Eskom tries its level best to give us a schedule so that you keep up, as business, as residents, to know when exactly you would have electricity, when you would not have electricity, surely this is the very same schedule that criminals use. Because we're hearing from, business owners, we're hearing from residents that it's during that time, especially even in the evenings, that they come and pounce on their unsuspecting victims. How much of a problem, an exacerbated problem, has load shedding now made the issue around, criminal activity and how they operate even much more complex?
Yeah, well, it has really stretched the law enforcement agencies' resources. If you look at also at the traffic lights, where there will be a surge of hijackings, and they will also plant what you call spikes, whereby, in a less lit, environment or roads, isolated roads, they will also put this. It also put emergency services also at risk. Remember, these are the people that will have to, attend to a call of assistance. So intentionally, they are really targeting, the victims, but also frustrating emergency services because, certain streets, they are not really the infrastructure. The roads are not good in terms of, you come across a lot of potholes. And then, they will know that certain environments, there are very limited vehicles that will need to be able to respond to, call of assistance. So it just shows that it is a form of sabotage, internal security that has been so much compromised because of this extended, as you rightly indicated, that they are aware of, Eskom, scheduling, but also then one needs to be able to be aware of this, but also one can also say we need to be obsessed with our securities, because if criminals are aware of, scheduling, they will also maximize knowing the resources are limited to respond to to the services, but also it is also important that we also make use of different, cell phones or service providers, because we are aware that certain service providers, they get disrupted during load shedding. So even if in a case where someone, there's intrusion in the home, especially during the night, then you'll not be able to make contact because of a limited, connection. So it is very much essential. But also, when you come during the night and you are using electric, gates, make sure that when you close, but you also use a manual locks, because certain gates, normally they get easily compromised when there is a load shedding.
Mm-hmm. So, Jacob, in essence, before I let you go, when you talk about the obsession with personal security, are you saying that we should be self-reliant on security more than law enforcement? Oftentimes we've heard complaints from businesses or residents saying the call time between making that emergency SOS call to the police to when they arrive usually is late. Already, the robbers or the hijackers have done away with certain items. At, worst case scenarios, lives are under risk. Are you saying that perhaps the responsibility should lie upon ourselves to make sure that we are secured, how we move, which roads we use, being vigilant as opposed to being more reliant and dependent on law enforcement?
Yes, we, in addition to relying to the law enforcement, but we know that there are people that also have private securities, of which also, time and again, they prove themselves to be not that reliable. So what I'm indicating is that we should, as you also put it, we should always be careful. We should always be conscious that, when lights went out, then also there are people that wants to maximize that particular opportunity. We should not relax. You find people that, even when they are load shedding, there is a movement outside, nothing, they are just so casual. And whenever you also limit the time one is arriving at home, because it is during the day that, criminals are also profiling the movements of individuals, when they are coming to their properties, but also during the night, one should also be careful that, you change the schedule whereby you arrive home or you leave home, because then they might be also, lurking in the dark. Also, we need to make sure that our environment is well lit by all, you can also put motion detectors, that use batteries. So I'm saying that do not rely only on law enforcement, also on security services, but do extra measures. Then we are talking about more expenses, despite what we indicated, that you put solar panels, you put generators, these people will come and take it. We are saying that do not relax, make sure that, you've got backup systems, you've got backup, batteries. Keep on testing your alarm system, whether the batteries and, even when, there's a load shedding, whether the security companies are able to receive signals from, from your properties. I'm just saying, do not relax.
And that is sound advice. That is sound advice. We constantly have to be vigilant. We are in South Africa. We see the crime stats each and every time they come out. Nothing about those numbers, Jacob, say relax, because the quality of our lives, unfortunately, have been compromised. I just want to ask you as well, when we look at stage 6, we're speaking personal security, but if we take it a notch, higher, just in terms of security at Eskom itself, unpacking, how we've come to stage 6, the different power stations, as we've heard from even our different, Eskom officials or even the Minister of Electricity. Where are the security threats there? Where are the security threats there at these power stations that could potentially inform why we are at stage 6? Where's the sabotage there?
Well, sabotage has been there, and we really greatly deliberated on the vulnerabilities of Eskom, and that with a lack of words, we can say enemy within. We are aware of the recent case where someone wanted to indicate of the road within Eskom, and then eventually this person then her life is in risk. So we are talking about that despite the assault on economy, on so many, households whereby they get affected by load shedding. Eskom remains, a critical, factor whereby, its house is yet to be in order. Then it has to cleanse itself whereby all other power stations are functional. The fact that we are still talking about people wearing, bulletproofs and, in different sites, it just shows the critical at which, this country is at, whereby, those that try to improve the functionality of the infrastructure, their lives are at risk. So it means that then we are calling upon law enforcement, upon the intelligence, as well as, upon the political will that, the government must be seen to be doing something to harmonize and to bring, effectiveness within those plans so that eventually then we can see where we are going in terms of the power supply.
Jacob, I'll leave it there, and I appreciate you speaking to me about this. Jacob.